Here are my top 10 Tony Soprano's Silvio Dante scenes from The Sopranos.
Spread it out.
So after Detective Vin Makazian tells Tony that Puss is a rat, Tony wants to find out more, so he has Sil go look into it. Sil then tells Tony Makazian's full of shit.
Hey, we're talking about 30 grand here. How do you want to think about what me and you would do to remove that debt? Wouldn't bet football.
And this is one of those times where Sil gets it wrong.
My vote counts for anything. I cannot believe that Pussy would fear the can enough to hurt his friends.
So Tony and Sil are sitting there. Carlo was just in there talking to Tony about why they should get rid of Vito.
Take Paulie, okay? You know perfectly well, guys like him never kick up their full percent to you. You look the other way, price of doing business. But you cut Vito slack, just the excuse people need to go off the reservation. Start withholding serious money.
But you gotta also think about it from Tony's end. There is a lot of money that he gets from Vito being around. Veach had been in the room apologizing to Tony for once again stepping on his toes, particularly this time with the mass carjacking he'd planned at the wedding of Dr. Ira Fried's daughter, Dr. Ira Fried being one of the executive card game players. As opposed to Sil's quick, unequivocal recommendation to Tony to get rid of Richie Aprile, he didn't seem to be quite so sure here.
Maybe I was too hard on that guy.
Did I learn nothing from Richie Aprile?
Huh?
Nip it in the bud.
Veach. He's well liked, T.
Funny side note, at first, I didn't like Veach when I watched the show. But then the more I watched, the more I realized and began to appreciate just how well he fit into that part of the story.
What's another thing?
All right, well, don't be so hard on yourself, though.
Tony has just learned that Richie Aprile wants to take him out after Junior told him in the doctor's office, in a very Silvio Dante type of way. Says,
I genuinely don't think there's anything to gain by keeping him around. Get it done. Another time, Anthony?
Cocksucker turns his back on a boss?
That I couldn't believe.
this is the conversation in which Sil recommends that Tony apologize to Ralph after hitting him.
Ralphie's star is rising. All those unions probably can't come near that kind of cash for us. I would suggest something in the way of an apology. You could bump him up to captain.
He disrespected the Bing.
So, he's barred from the place. He bashed that poor girl's brains in. I hear you. I know. It was a tragedy.
Sil thinks it's the good idea to do something to show that there's no bad blood. Maybe give him a piece of the casino. Or perhaps you could bump him up to captain. And Tony says, over my dead body. Ironic, because it's actually over someone else's dead body that Ralph then gets to go into the position.
Make him disappear or make nice. You only got two choices.
Now, you know what? I'm not gonna go fucking ballistic.
Oh, due respect, T. Throwing you a praise or a beating was a provocation to you directly.
Not only is Paulie talking to Johnny Sack behind Tony's back, he's encouraging further escalation.
The other day, we were talking about Florida. I noticed you clammed up around Paulie.
You did too. It occurred to me that maybe Paulie's the one telling our friend in New York all our business.
Jesus, do you believe this shit? Talking about fucking Paulie here.
Sil has a dream about Puss during the holiday season. Sil's a bit shaken up, so he goes over to Tony's and they have a discussion in the basement about Puss and the who, what, when, where, why of him flipping. And all of a sudden, Sil comes to the realization
It was to sit down.
Where's Bumpinchero?
It's not here yet.
He's supposed to be here. He brokered the fucking thing.
He should have known right then when he was MIA from that sit down. Ever since we found that suit, now I'm dreaming about the fat rat bastard.
What about it? You're starting to worry me. You got a problem?
95. I can't believe I didn't see it.
No, I had a fucking lamp down here, but Meadow took it to school. It's all the time you need. When they flip somebody, they try to get them back on the street right away. That very day.
So you don't have time to think.
at the end of season 4, episode 2, Sil goes over to Tony's house, and Tony's already stressed out enough about Meadow wanting to go to Europe, and also he got the news from Jack Masserone that the guys had taken some floor tiles from the Esplanade site.
No more dipping at the job, according to fucking Alfalfa. But the order comes down from Tony.
Go ahead.
It's one of the rare moments where Sil does deliberately disobey Tony. And I think that was out of frustration for Tony deciding to put Christopher in as acting capo instead of Patsy while Polly was in jail.
Truckload of floor tiles. You should be looking at what, 30 grand?
Should be about $2,000 there. I'll have the rest for you later.
I know you will.
Bert let me know the other night he's been playing both sides of the fence with New York.
Bert?
Measures were taken.
In The Blue Comet, the penultimate episode of the series, we see what happens when Bert tries to get Sil to come over to their side and help take out Tony. Now Sil also has to deliver the news to Tony that he took Bert out for that reason. It's something that, to me showed Sil's loyalty.
Bert wasn't speaking for just himself. Guys getting squeezed hard to sway them towards new management.
I thought you'd be a part of it.
And he got an answer.
With all due respect, my number one pick for Tony Sil scene is In All Due Respect.
All right. All due respect.
This attitude of yours gets a lot of what's made you an effective leader. But we all got flaws, even you.
All due respect. You got no fucking idea what it's like to be number one. Every decision you make affects every facet of every other fucking thing. It's too much to deal with almost. And in the end, you're completely alone with it all.
When Sil talks to Tony candidly, one-on-one, about the other guys not liking the decisions that he's been making about protecting Tony B and other things surrounding that.
So it's not about standing with the guys or upholding some rules. Not really. You don't want to bow down.
Oh, is that right?
All due respect.
What the fuck do you know what goes on in my head?
I know you since you were a kid, Tom. Frankly, you got a problem with authority. 7 deadly sins, and yours is pride.
This is right after the episode in which Sil kills Adriana for Tony and Christopher. So Sil just did a big favor for them, for Christopher, because he's Tony's nephew, which is why he's probably still alive at that point in the first place. And then with the whole protecting Tony B, frankly, Sil thinks the other guys have a point.
Break routines, collections, all that shit. You tell everybody.
No hired help. This is personal. Very glad to hear you say that. I'm gonna give him a real after-school special.
Stay out late, come home drunk, fuck anyone I want.
Yeah, so what's the difference?
It's a fucking broad. Believe that? The thing is, we got this platonic thing going. We have had for many years. She thinks that's what it is, but it's not.
So she was a friend.
Yeah. Somebody's talking too much. It's costing me money.